receive a book. You'll have 30 minutes. At the end of that 30 minutes, you have to tell us everything about the book. Imagine the worst thing that could happen. You couldn't answer a question, right? Now imagine yourself on national TV.
Nervous about anything that's got to do with reading. Well, I haven't read much, have I? To go to a library, if I go to a library and take a book out, I need 6 months to get through it. So, truly, I wouldn't go to libraries. No. And I'm out to have, to not let that stop me in life anymore.
I originally started in a class in accounting in 121 in college, and I really had some problems. It was like a foreign language. I just wasn't able to grasp it, and in the first test, I totally zeroed out.
Because I've been used to reading in one particular way all my life, and for me to think that I'm going to change overnight is probably unreasonable.
I done track for 3 years, and when I run, it's not the way I run at practice. When I continue to photo read, that positive thoughts will go into my subconscious mind, and that I'll believe more in myself.
I came from Malaysia. We were very used to memorizing things. All the time you're consciously focusing on trying to memorize and figure out material word by word. And I struggled to finish essays. I spent all my time trying to keep up with the work.
I'm a lawyer in St. Thomas. There's so much that you need to read to keep up. So if you have a lot of preparation to do, especially if things have come up that you hadn't expected, you get very little sleep.
I worked a lot on my personal development. 5 years from now, I will dedicate my time to people living in developing countries, probably mainly Africa and South America, helping teachers, getting new techniques.
Have you ever walked past a book and went, "Whoosh, I need this book, I need this book." And you pick up the book, you open to a page, and that's a page you needed to see. And that's a paragraph you needed to read. And that paragraph answered a question that you have been struggling with. How did your brain know to do that? That's activation. The mechanical steps of activation. We start with post-viewing. We do a little incubation, right? We get into some mind probing, which is revisiting those questions we've formulated. Now we get into some soup reading and dipping, some skittering, some discussion, right? You know the steps, right? If you're not confident in that, then practice the steps. And let me tell you, it's not about the steps. The steps are a big ruse to get you over your hurdle thinking that you don't already know everything that's in that book.
I really wanted to participate in the retreat because it's a chance for me to refine my activation skills.
I've sort of forgotten the power of activation. Still done photo read everything I read.
I done track for 3 years, and I really just made my mind up that now, since it's my last year of track, I don't have anything I can not gain from doing everything I can. So I'm excited, and hopefully that will help me a lot.
Think of it beginning with setting the stage. You have to set the stage before you do any activation. When do you start activating? You start activating with your purpose. You set your purpose. After previewing, what do you do before photo reading? You set your purpose. When you're done photo reading, you're going to start activating. What do? Set your purpose. If you don't set your purpose every time, you're putting your brain at a tremendous disadvantage.
Photo reading without a clearly stated purpose is like looking for an answer when you don't have a question.
And then once you get that purpose, you should be able to skim down the page and find the word or find the thought that you're drawn to. And I wasn't getting that. I wasn't getting that thought, that draw to the word.
I really didn't feel like my purpose was very clear. I didn't know exactly what I wanted to get out of the different groups that I was in. I was kind of frustrated, and it was because I hadn't established a clear enough purpose.
Most of the information, if you don't need it right away, you're not gonna find it in the book. If you don't need something, then how are you gonna get it, you know?
When I formulate my purpose and I photo read, I found that it comes together so quickly.
All my life, I've always thought that the print on the page was more important than anything else. So say, for example, I read a sentence, I thought, that's the message that I'm supposed to be getting. But with photo reading, I realized that the most important thing is not what's on the page, it's what's behind my eyes. It's what's actually going on inside of my head.
You don't interact with the pages, you don't interact with the text. It's not the words on the page, it's you with your energy inside of you interacting with this waveform that was that author for a year or 2 years putting that thing together. And you're saying, give it to me. What do I need to know that's going to give me my purpose?
I basically say, this is what I'm after. Is there anything in your book that can help me? Whereas in the past, it was, tell me what I need to know about this. The thing is, that's not clear, that's not specific, and I want what's in my life right now, what's going to be useful to me.
You tell your non-conscious mind what your purpose is, what it was, and it will provide it.
Purpose is so important. I never ever understood that until this week. Your mind will just stop when you see that word that you need to cue you off on, hey, this is the subject that will basically explain the answer to my question.
When you're doing photo reading, if you have thoughts about what you're not doing well in the technique, then you're typically drawn to those.
Now this is setting the stage for good input here, right? What you're doing with affirmation is you're predetermining the end result. Dr. David Wark did an amazing study of the use of affirmation on the effect of comprehension. And he found a statistically significant increase in a person's comprehension of what they read when they gave themselves positive, affirmative statements of their ability to comprehend this material.
With my friends, I golf, and one of the things that the golf psychologists teach is that when you come up to a hole and you want to avoid something, let's say there's a lake on the left, you don't want to hit it into the lake. What you want to do is say, I'm hitting it to the right this time, hitting it to the right.
As I photo read, my concentration is absolute. All that I photo read makes a lasting impression on my inner mind and is available to me. I desire the information in this book, recommended, state the title and author. Simultaneously visualize the cover of the book. Okay, this is good because how much more of your neural systems are you using when you go from pure auditory into visual? Okay, if you can get a picture of the author as well in your head, even more powerful because you're connecting in a very deep way then.
The main purpose for me continuing with the photo reading and coming here was I'm out to accomplish being a successful trader of the futures market.
You step up to a book, you envelop that book, and if that book isn't right for you, how long does it take you to figure that out?
There are reasons people are picking up certain books and choosing them, and if they were forced to take certain books, they just wouldn't have the energy or the motivation to get any information out of the book.
Today, when I was photo reading the book that we're going to work through each day of the week, I didn't even want to go through it. In the end, I felt I was actually in tears. The tears were there. Lynn said, after I sort of told this to her, she just said, look, this book's not right for you. And I said, what do you mean it's not right for me? This is my life, I want what's in this book.
When we're talking about the power of the non-conscious mind, that's exactly the kinds of things that we're talking about.
Come up to it with a full expectation. Your mind can make that discrimination, flip through the pages, and you decide, is this for me or not? If it's not, move on.
I got to the point where I thought, look, I'll choose another book I bought, which is important to me, and it was called Lasting Love. And I thought, I'll ask for one thing that's going to make a difference for me. And I got the one thing that would make a difference for me in that short period of time, in those last few seconds.
The best learners that were researched were highly resilient, meaning if they did something and it didn't work, they didn't think, I'm a failure, I can't do this, I'm no good.
I've got some books now on loving conscious relationships, and I've been with my husband Daryl since we were like 18, 19, and to have more love and intimacy in the relationship. I mean, we're really good friends, and but you know, when you've been together for 30 years plus, you know, relationships are a challenge, don't you reckon?
Guarantee it. As long as they're carrying this, I'm so lousy at super reading. Guess what? That's the truth, right? Whatever you say, that's the truth. So if you want to change it, it starts with the internal energy around it.
A lot of it has to do with beliefs that we have about ourselves, and I realized that there are beliefs that when I go to practice, I'm more excited versus when I go to a meet. And a lot of my friends, you know, they train for the meet, and it should be that way. And my coach, he kind of picked up on it this past year, because he was saying, you know, maybe it's something in your subconscious mind that you beliefs about yourself and how you perform.
No matter what happens, you get up and you play some more. You release, you notice, you respond in a new way. Witness the effects of that.
So I've made my day here today to be one where I can enjoy and play. So enjoy and play with it. I'm getting there.
And resiliency, according to Dr. Al Siebert, is a result of strength in 3 nervous systems. The central nervous system, which is in charge of our thinking, our cognitive visual processing, left and right hemispheric processing, associated with our identity or self-concept. The autonomic nervous system, this is in charge of your feelings. This is your self-worth or your self-esteem. The third is the somatic nervous system. This is in charge of your actions. You strengthen the somatic nervous system, you get self-confidence. All of this is part way before you even photo read, isn't it? Your activation, the secrets of good activation start right here at this stage.
Releasing negative emotions helps me because there's things that we believe about ourselves that aren't true. And if we hold on to those thoughts, then we won't allow ourselves to try anything new, and we won't see our true potential.
I think releasing negative emotions does help me. Let them happen. Don't label them. Whatever they mean, they're there. Experience them and let them go. They're there to maybe provide a gift for you and as an individual, and once they're gone, they're gone. You just got to work through them.
I really got a lot out of that, and it was just stop resisting. Just accept the way you are and accept that you're perfect in every way. And if you accept yourself the way you are now, then you can take steps and go to where you want to be.
So when you have the attitude going into this, I can do this. Is it going to make a difference? What? Of course it is. Of course it is.
I chose a book about overcoming all my fears and anxieties and guilt, and it was like, yeah, what do I want to get out of this? How can this make a difference in my life? I felt inspired by it.
There's only one person in the world who's going to benefit most from you acting as if this is true. Guess who? Yeah, you are. But you know what? The rest of the world's going to be the beneficiary of that.
The type of work I do tends to make me very myopic and very tunnel visioned with respect to things, because unless I can see empirical data, hard physical proof of something's presence, I usually have a tendency to want to reject it, at least in my line of work. And this is quite a deviation from that.
Look at the space that your feet cover on the floor. How much space is that? That's your conscious awareness. That's how much your conscious mind perceives. Now look at the rest of the floor. Not just here. Down the hallway. Out through the whole building. On and on and on. 15 centimeters, 11 miles. Conscious resource, other than conscious resource. I'm here photo reading this book. Flip, 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 flip. I get done, I close it. I look under my feet. So what did I get from this? I didn't get anything. What's going on? I don't think photo reading works. Meanwhile, over here, there is this part of me which is jumping up and down and saying, I'm over here, I'm on page 142, it's right here, it's right here, it's right here. Come on. Why? Because this is my non-conscious mind. It's all over here. It's so vast. I photo read, but it's connected over here. So meanwhile, my limited conscious mind is looking at this information and thinking, well, I don't think I got anything here. Look. I'm looking to my primary working memory. There's nothing here. Photo reading doesn't work. When it comes to activation, if you try to think that everything's going to be at a conscious level, you really get bogged down.
Even though you know you're using your non-conscious or other than conscious mind, you still sort of think that you're going to know that you know the stuff in the book when you photo read. But of course you don't until you activate it. And even then, it's not the same as just having read a book. It's that when you need the information, it's there, but you don't necessarily know that it's going to be there. It's just there.
During a conversation following a photo reading session, we were talking about a subject I do not feel comfortable about, and the kind of reactions I got from the people I was talking with was, well, you must be an expert on the subject, and I wasn't at all. It was just, to me, it was just common sense.
During the process, it just didn't make any sense. But in the last few minutes, suddenly my mind went click, and all this information came together, and I could give an overview of the stuff. Sure, I couldn't go into great detail, but I could intelligently talk about it.
Say active. Yes. If you're sitting there with a blank sheet of paper and pens ready to mind map, and you're looking under your feet, what am I supposed to mind map? There's nothing here. Is that active? No way. So what do I have to do? I have to go like this. I have to look through the book. I have to ask questions. I hear something. Something's calling to me. It's over there. And you feel yourself going to that place. You open to that page. Boom, there it is. So the idea of activation is get out there and start realizing information doesn't go anywhere. It's you already. And your brain is waiting to show you where it is. Got it?
Stuff came up, a lot of fears about being able to activate and knowing that the best way to activate is to just let go of it and not. The biggest thing I think is that I have to stop looking for the conventional ways of gaining the information, because that's not the way it comes.
All I'm saying is if you change the paradigm that it's an energetic interaction that we're having, what is light and dark? It's a binary code for on and off, isn't it? Light, dark. That's all that's happening. And these waveforms are hitting this neurophysiology.
Everything is energy and vibration, and everything is connected. It's really all one, and it manifests in different ways. So that the unconscious mind, as you go back into the deeper and deeper parts of the unconscious mind, you're actually going back into that level that actually connects everyone in all life.
I think the unconscious mind is just phenomenal, really. It takes in so much extra information than the conscious mind, and what is really amazing, I think, is our ability to tap into that unconscious mind and really link it back to conscious comprehension, conscious knowing. think that's where the potential lies.
The most exciting thing about the human brain's potential is that I don't think that its potential is really known. I'm sure that I'm not aware of the total ability of my brain and my productivity. I'm only now getting a glimpse of what I think is possible for me to do and to develop. But overall, I think that we're really on the threshold of a tremendous breakthrough in terms of understanding the capabilities of human productivity.
I'm a child of the 60s and actually became a lawyer because at that time, that is one of the ways that you felt you could really change the world and make a difference. There were quite a few of us that were not just protecting activists, but were activists ourselves. The whole purpose was to empower people that had historically been denied power over their own lives. And now, that is becoming even more important because before it was just like certain groups, but now basically people generally are not empowered.
I spent a lot of time just being in the office, traveling, coming back home at night, and at night I just want to kick back for a little while, but it's already 10 o'clock at night when I get back home, and it's time to get up and start over again. I've missed time with my family. Like my daughter, I used to go see her plays. She's into drama at school, and haven't seen any of them in the last 6 months. So this has been bothering me for a little while now, and I definitely need to make some changes right now.
The issue now is to sort of have people recognize that they still do have power over their own lives and can make a difference. It can really change their world. The theory and the practice of photo reading does more than just help you to read more and to understand more in a shorter period of time. It really begins to activate the real power that's within each of our lives.
If you ask yourself this question, what do I know about this book that can guide me to my purpose? Is that good?
I pulled out a 1,725-page book, and I said, I want to know more things about a remote desktop. Terminal server is actually the proper name for it, terminal server.
I was actually looking for a viewpoint on Locke's philosophy on human understanding.
What signals can I notice inside of me that will guide me to the place I need to go?
When I was activating, my tummy heated up. And today, the most amazing thing happened. My arm started to hurt.
1524. I was just photo reading. Server management. Terminal server. I was, whoa, this is amazing.
You're in contact with the author. What question do you want to ask? What's your purpose? What do you want to open up for yourself? That's what it's about.
How did I know that I was going to stop on this last page? So I flipped back a couple pages, kind of trying to find out something. A little topic about that big. It was on the bottom of it, and it said, in the next chapter, you will learn about terminal server and how it progresses to the server management. Whoa, it works.
And what I was after, I got. It was just a fraction of information, but as far as I'm concerned, that was a signal for me, because as soon as I got the information, the arm stopped.
The more I think I can interact with an author, the more I can get into his viewpoint and get what he wants to convey, which is useful to me, immediately out of the book.
I was attracted to a certain part of the book. It was about 3/4 of the way through, and my conscious mind said, come on.
What am I most used to? There's a certain rhythm to the musical intelligence. It's not so much that you have music going, but that you have a certain rhythm that's going to facilitate the way in which you study.
I cannot have competing music with lyrics or television on in the background or somebody carrying on a conversation. I'm not at my best in those times because I'm a very auditory person.
I came to the conclusion that conversation is a very powerful activation part of the process.
Interpersonal, loves to talk about it. It's very powerful activation technique. In school, they call that cheating.
I know I've got the benefit of photo reading when I am able to share the content of the book and to build on the content of the book through a conversation with other people.
So which one is this? Which intelligence is this? Mathematical logical, absolutely. What's this one? Yes, the one that categorizes and understands how things are, make it into some symbol that represents a book for you. Use your bodily kinesthetic intelligence.
It's not a question of what's easiest. These are all things that you do. So it's not really either or.
Intrapersonal. That's why we put Qigong energy open into channels in the morning. We also say, notice, go inside, do the meditation, open those energy channels, keep it going. Pay attention. This is the one that's going to give you that primary consciousness in the moment, right now, aware of the images, the sounds, the feelings that are happening at this moment. The more of these you can use, the better.
It actually had, it broke down the various intelligences that you have, which are really in your other than conscious mind, and gave specific protocols, specific exercises to use to develop them, to develop each of them.
How soon should you be proficient with the book? Immediately upon flipping the pages? I'm talking about at a conscious level. How do we stay aware of our experience and not go into reflective consciousness too soon? This secret is probably the most difficult for all first-time photo readers. It's that ability to be in primary consciousness.
I've always gone into primary consciousness because of the time limits that I set for myself. But it's only when I came here that I realized what it was that made the flow state so effective. And now I know what it is. I can reproduce it.
I was kind of questioning how much I was really activating in the book because it felt like the subtitles were just standing out to me. A couple other things were standing out to me. And the subtitles were really relevant to what I was trying to get out of the book. It just felt like they were standing out to me because they were bigger letters and it didn't really feel like something was popping out.
On any given page of text, 4 to 11% of those words carry the meaning. 4 to 11%. And that means within the context of that page, all the rest of the words are connected to those, but not necessarily salient. So what we want to do is we want to use our activation time to find how much of that text. 4 to 11%, because the other 89 to 96% is connected to that. So we're taking it from whole to parts. Reading has been parts to whole. Photo reading is whole